Welcome, welcome. It's excellent. If you're just tuning in now, thank you for tuning in. My name is Dr. Todd Swindlerwits. I'm covering for Spenni today. He was out. I don't know what he's doing. I guess he's not in town, or he just didn't want to do his podcast, feeling lazy. And I thought it would be an excellent opportunity. He was telling me because he wanted me to be a guest, but he had to cancel, and so he said, "Todd, Dr. Swindlerwits, why don't you take over for the podcast for the day and just do your thing, tell people the truth. I mean, he likes the truths that I spread to the world, and I was recently involved with the 2020 election. We'll get into all that. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with the CIA, and so I think that this will hopefully be informative for everyone. Today I'm joined by young Timmy. He's a relative of Spenni's, and he's the camera's over here, and he's and he's a young student of the conspiracy theory field. And I really dislike the term conspiracy theories because the CIA actually invented the term conspiracy theories as a way to discredit anyone who was onto them. I don't. Did you know about that little bit there?
No, I didn't know about that one.
Well, yeah. So pretty much, the CIA has been up to yeah, it's okay. The CIA has been up to a lot of bad stuff over the years. This has been reported through evidence, but not just through legitimate evidence. It's been shown through YouTube documentaries, which some people don't consider legitimate, but I personally consider it to be one of the most legitimate ways of spreading information because it can't get through the CIA censors because they try to censor all the information that comes out about what they've been up to.
Yeah.
So I want to, before we get into this lesson with you, your first conspiracy 101 lesson, I just want to kind of gauge, young Tim, what kind of conspiracies are you aware of, or are you interested in learning about? Because I know quite a bit, and so I want to kind of start out in any field that you would be interested in.
Well, you just showed me the slideshow here, and I really was interested in the Furbies one. I forgot the whole thing. But
the Furbies, the communist surveillance plot
yes,
of the Furbies.
Yes.
So,
and also that nothing is real.
Yeah, I think that was a Beatles reference, but it relates to everything because all of the information that comes out, whether it's in the mainstream media, whether it's something that's very blatant right before your eyes, it's probably not real. There's probably some kind of backstory that you're not quite aware of, and you need people who have been involved in these secretive plots to kind of be there and usher you through it and show you what the real truth is. And it's very difficult, but with a little bit of faith and two ears and one mouth, I think people can really start to see what's been going on. So the Furbies plot, I'm glad you brought that one up, the Furbies. So I believe what the factoid that was in there was the whole plot about the Furbies and how they were actually a secret communist surveillance plot.
Yes.
So do you know what Furbies? Do you know what Furbies are?
Yes, I'm pretty sure they're like the little furry. They sell them in a lot of stores, and that's like a really good way to get surveillance on people. So it makes sense.
Exactly. And the funny thing is because I don't think you were even born yet when Furbies first came out. Furbies were back in the 1990s, and they were these toys that would talk to you, they would listen and respond, and it was a very early way of normalizing having surveillance technology in your home. The people who created Furbies, I signed an NDA when I was working with the CIA, so I can't expose everything right now. Some of the details will be in a book that I'm releasing later this year. It's only going to be $16.99. You can get it on Kindle Fire, but it's what the people who were behind the Furby plot, what they were doing was actually part of a long-term CIA conditioning plot. Because now everyone has Alexas in their homes, they have Apple Home, Series.
Kind of a test.
Exactly, a test to see if people would be willing to do it. And not only were people willing to do it with the toys, but nowadays people will happily put something in their home that they know is listening to them 24/7 and reporting that information to, they don't know who, but I know who, the CIA.
I think I actually owned a couple of them when my sister got some for Christmas.
Furbies?
Furbies. It was, yeah, they were really creepy in general. I don't know why anyone would buy them, but
Did you take them out back and set them on fire?
no, I did take out their batteries though.
That's a good start. They do have battery backup, and so they're still picking up the sound waves.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it's definitely. I think it's a good thing. It's a good sign that you. Sorry, I'm just adjusting your angle because you're a little out of frame. I just want to get you right where you stay there. You don't have to move. You're good. But I think it's a good sign that you're uh, it, taking the batteries out, taking those first initial baby steps to circumvent the conspirators from entering into your home. We have Jody. A woman named Jody is on there. Thank you, commenter. She said she can't wait to read the book. Like I said, I believe it's $14.99 or $16.99. I still have to talk to my legal team and my financial team about it, but it's going to be on Kindle Fire. It's going to expose so many things. I mean, you're going to be exposed to I mean, the chemical plots, financial plots, the hologram that's in the sky, that we're outer space, all that, all the stuff, all the lies that people have been told. I'm going to be blowing the lid off of them, and it's a very low price, and it's very informative, and you're basically doing yourself and your community a huge service by buying my book whenever it comes out. So young Tim, did I
You,
answer your question adequately about the Furbies?
well, you kind of gave me another question about the Alexas. Do they also have backup batteries? Because I have one that my aunt, who is probably involved in this, gave it to us, and we barely plug it in, and but if it does have backup batteries, I should probably burn it then, huh?
You should definitely burn it. I would recommend 100% burning it, and then you want to take the ashes and throw them in the ocean, like at least 60 miles away from your home. Because the thing about the technologies is they're getting so advanced with the nanotechnologies and the ways of
GPS.
harnessing energy. When you're sleeping, do you ever just feel tired?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you know what that is?
What? What is it?
It's not lack of sleep. It's not you've been exercising all day. It's nothing like that. There are micro nano energies that are within the Alexas that they use to harness your power and pretend like they're, even when they're unplugged. So they can still, not only are they harvesting your information through audio waves and temperatures and things like that, they're literally drawing power from from your person, from your beating heart.
So it's kind of like a wireless charger, but it's taking from our energy.
Exactly, and it's been
Oh,
doing that for years. Before the wireless, they're just now introducing consumer level wireless charging, but this is something. And the CIA, I actually was in some of the development projects with this in the CIA, and this is something that they've been rolling out for some time.
well, if they have this, I think if they really cared about humanity, uh, they would give it to us because in those hurricanes and all that, we could really use a wireless charger like that.
That's true, but that's the thing. It's not, and this is something that's very difficult to understand as a young person because you still have that innocence and you want to see the good in everyone. These are not good people. They do not have your interests at heart. These are powerful forces at play who are trying to harvest as much information about you and as much of your energy as they can and exploit you really.
So we're all like little ants in their huge scheme of
Exactly,
things.
the massive scheme. I mean, this whole false hope that we're gonna go to space. I mean, there was a moon. They started with the moon landing. They didn't start with the moon landing, but one of their big things, the big false hope maneuvers that they did was the moon landing, because it was filmed. It was not a real thing. It was filmed in a Hollywood studio. I don't know if you knew this.
I don't know. That I personally have learned a lot about rockets, and I think I believe most of these other theories about like Alexa's spying on us and stuff. But space, I do really believe that they're going to space, but the whole Starlink thing, I think that's just uh to show that like they're putting more hologram inducing satellites in the sky because some of them are dying out, and they're just using it as an excuse to put more holograms in the sky. I want to hear your thoughts on that. But
I haven't been involved in the Starlink project specifically, but I can tell you that what you said is just a textbook example. That people don't want to believe that space isn't real. They want to think that we're in a universe and that we're not actually on a flat surface, well, with a hologram in the sky. And it's a little difficult. It always sounds a little cuckoo and wacky. But if you get my book, the Flat Earth Truth, that's the working title, Flat Earth Truth, and that one's only going to be $4.99 on Kindle. It'll explain everything.
Well, let's see. Have you ever? I just feel like the Earth is round, and that's
Well,
just. But it's not exactly a sphere. I don't believe the whole flat Earth thing because that just doesn't make sense. But I do believe that donuts. It's a donut. It's so much it's so much easier to understand because if it was a huge sphere, when you're at the ocean and you can see the little curvature.
I've never seen the curvature. I've always felt that was a lie.
Well, it might be my young eyes, but I can see it. And if it was such a big sphere, you wouldn't be able to see it. That's why it's a tiny. It's smaller if it's a donut, but it goes all the way around. So.
That's a fascinating theory. I like that. I like that you're skeptical of the sphere. I support that very much. I do think that it's all of these round donut curvature things. Let me explain something to you. If you say something over and over and over, people start to believe it, and they'll start to even see it. It affects their perceptions. So if you start saying, "Oh, there's the sphere," if you look at the ocean, you can see the sphere. People will their mind will fill in the blanks. But truly, and I can get into the psychic warfare with you later. We did a lot of psychic warfare in the CIA. That might be a little bit for a later segment because this is just like the introductory class to Conspiracy 101. But I will say that the curvature of the Earth is completely false and fictionalized.
Okay. But you've been telling me that the Earth is flat over and over again, and I
Because
think
the Earth
you're
is flat.
using. Well, yeah, but you just told me that repeating something over and over and over again is going to do that. So now I just got to repeat over and over and over again that the Earth is a donut because it is,
It's definitely not a
and then you'll
donut.
believe it.
Donuts are delicious. I will say donuts are delicious and are a delicious thing to eat when you're out walking on the flat surface that is the planet Earth. We can move on to something else with the Earth is flat, but let's move on to something else.
Okay. Okay.
So I know I don't know if there was any other things that jumped out at you
I
in the
actually,
pre-roll.
you did tell me about the warfare, the psychological warfare. How exactly did you repeat stuff over and over again? How did you get the public to even watch that?
Well, yeah, it's a very subtle thing, and a lot of it is influencing. So it's two things. It's psychological, but it's also psychic in the sense of telepathic communications and tapping into the telepathic spirit. Now, this is something that we studied, and now it sounds, a little woo-woo. It sounds a little, oh, okay, a little fantasy, whatever, sci-fi, whatever you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
But in the CIA, we were in these programs, these secret programs, and what they would have us do is, it would take a lot of meditation and focusing and chants and things like this. But we would subtly, through conversation and conversation alone, uh, discuss things amongst each other in front of other people. We would go out in the public and we would have these conversations about, that you should allow, that it would be cool to have a little furry talking robot in your home, for example. Things like this.
Yeah.
And we would just go out on our lunch breaks, and it was just a part of our daily regimen. We'd go out and say things in the public. The Earth is round, the Earth is round. Getting people to believe it. And I honestly feel disgusting that I was a part of this conspiracy for such a long time, because frankly, it's unacceptable, the kinds of things that we were doing to influence and push out this misinformation about a round Earth and things like this. But yeah, it was psychological and psychic in a way, because sometimes we wouldn't be directly next to someone. We would be yards away from them speaking, and they would hear it, and it would influence them
Hmm.
in the strangest ways that you would not believe.
Hmm. Yeah, it sounds like a pretty yeah. So like kind of like them overhearing it, or is it like a mind to mind kind of thing?
Both.
The more ways, the better, huh?
Precisely. I mean, you gotta. Here's the thing. The thing with the CIA that you gotta understand is they cover all their bases. We're not
No
just gonna
stone
do.
unturned.
What's that?
No stone unturned, then.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And they leave no stone unturned, leave no mind uninfluenced through any avenue. So yeah, and that was a technique that we used. Like another thing that was how we convinced people that birds are real. Did you know that before 1947, I believe it was, there had never been birds. Birds did not exist. And now you might say, oh, what about ancient cave paintings, ancient paintings, ancient old photographs of birds? Yeah, the CIA has the technology and the capability to make a bunch of old-looking photos and paintings and put it out to the people.
And put it on a rock wall somewhere.
Yes, exactly. Rock walls, archive photos, old encyclopedias. We had the tentacles and the reach to get into all these places and plant this stuff, so people will be totally fine with surveillance bots flying around them constantly. Anytime you see a pigeon, a crow, anytime you see a little sparrow, a little cute sparrow hopping around, they're watching you.
Well, one question about that. You said you have like the nanotechnology. Why are the
Yeah.
birds so big?
Because it's multiple avenues. Like I said, no stone unturned. I mean, the nanos, we only have so many nanos that can only report on so much. It's multiple efforts. If the nanos could solve everything, we wouldn't have to go out and have conversations in front of people to influence them. If conversations could solve everything, we wouldn't have to do meditations where we chant and visualize people that we see and plant things in their brains.
Mm. So you like put more nanos in the bird, therefore it needs more space then, or
Yeah,
did I not
but
catch
some nanotechnologies involve the birds, but the birds are mostly just animatronic. And if you go out, like if you
that?
went today and you took a baseball bat and just started smashing a bird, you would see it. It's all mechanical. But people aren't mean like that. People for the most part,
They even feed them.
yeah, people feed them. They give up their precious resources and food to keep the CIA's machines running. And the CIA, I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to disappear for a while after this podcast because the things that I am exposing here about what the CIA has been up to, I'm definitely gonna be on a list.
The but what I was saying about the food,
Yes.
uh, is that uh, how do they eat? Like, how do they store that? Can they get overfed and not be able to take any more peanuts or something?
No, yeah, it stores and then they dump it off of facilities, and we'll
Uh,
use it. Sometimes we use it to just as surplus food if we have people detained at one of our CIA black sites and we need to force feed somebody. The bird robots have already chewed up the food, so they take
mm,
it there and they force feed it into our detainees, our terrorists that we're able to hold without any due process.
okay, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. I don't have any other questions. Everything seems pretty legit.
Okay, well, I guess it is election season. How are you feeling about the election? I've noticed you have your Biden sunglasses, as you call
Hmm.
them, aviators.
Well, actually, I went to Georgia, okay, and I brought my ballot in, okay, and I was wearing my MAGA hat because I'm not actually a Biden supporter.
Oh
And
wow.
I walked in, and they said, and I gave them my ID, my school ID, and they said, "You're too young to vote."
Wow.
And I think it was because of my MAGA hat.
I think it was. It sound. Here's the thing. I'm not partisan. I'm not a supporter of the Democrat or the Republican Party. I was in the CIA. I joined the CIA because I'm a supporter of America first and foremost. Frankly, partisan politics is very silly to me.
Yeah, to be in the CIA, I would expect the CIA to have that kind of regimen to have their
Yeah.
officers or.
But having said all that, there is very clearly some fishy business going on with this voter stuff. And I actually volunteered as a ballot counter, and I witnessed some of the similar techniques that we would use in the CIA being used on people who were voting and counting ballots.
Now, see, you can mess with everything else, right? I don't care what you mess with, but the people get to choose who wins the election.
Exactly, and the fact that this psychic warfare, and these CIA operations were being used against these voters and these ballot counters, it erodes democracy.
Yeah.
And so what I did put down the number up back here, the voter fraud hotline,
Yes.
and I don't know if it's been disconnected because I know they've been getting flooded by
Prank calls.
yeah, well, we don't need to call them that, but there's obviously some kind of operations going on.
Some people trying to overload the hotline so that the real facts cannot get in.
Precisely. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try calling this number right now, and I'm just gonna give him my 2 cents. And if you want to call him from your phone afterwards and give him your 2 cents, we could do that too.
I don't need my my number on some.
Oh, you got to star 67. You always got to star 67. You put star 67 before you dial a number, and they're not gonna be able to call you back. It says private number. So you can say, you can call someone and say just the most offensive stuff you want, or you could just speak truth to power if you want.
Well, you have been saying that these so-called prank calls, as the fake news media are calling them, prank calls are overloading the system, and I bet they're all using the private calling, right?
I would wager that they are. I mean, they're smart, but two can play at this little game. So let's call the voter fraud hotline and help support the man who should have been the rightful winner.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the election, though? Other than that, are you
I
pretty
don't know.
disturbed? Are you pretty depressed for America
Yes.
now?
Yes, I am.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. Let's see. 503-3526. Hopefully it goes through. Let's see.
But
Sometimes the reception in here is a little iffy. I hope it doesn't. And if we get bad reception, we can all call them later.
Yeah.
But I got it. Yeah, for some reason it's not dialing. I wonder if they disconnected the number because they got overloaded. Anyways, whatever. I'll leave this here. Anything else you want to know? I mean, you haven't even asked me about the lizard people.
Lizard people? Oh, yeah. I've heard of. One sec.
Oh, wait. Hello? Hello? Is there anybody in there? It still says calling. It's not actually going through. All right, screw it. Let's just talk about the lizard people.
Yeah, I want to hear about these lizard people. I've never really. I've heard some stuff. Who is the leader of the lizard people? I just want to get my facts straight.
It's well, we don't know because frankly we haven't been able to travel to their planet. But the lizard people have come to our planet and influenced people at the top levels of government.
Is that why you're trying to take our people back by doing your methods?
Precisely. We gotta do this. We gotta do this. It's a slow and steady battle, but there's shape-shifting lizard people who've completely taken over.
Yes.
And so what we gotta do is it's gonna be a multi-step process. Here, I'm gonna try calling this stupid number again.
Mine might have better reception if you have more trouble.
Okay. Yeah, you want to do it? It's just do star 67.
You can try.
You want me to do it?
Mm-hmm. You're clearly better at this.
I'm not. I can't even get the call through. I mean, for a CIA data expert and chemical weapons expert, you'd think I would have a better grasp on this technology, but it's it's a very difficult. I don't know
these old technologies, huh?
So anyways, I do have a new video that I made about this whole election problem. I'll be dropping in the next couple days. Okay.
But does it even have a? Because I didn't tell you about this before the thing. You should add a clip of this about me telling you about the.
Absolutely.
Yes, you should add a clip into that video because clearly, I should have talked to you before.
Yeah. I mean, it's sickening.
It is
truly sickening to think that just because you only have a school ID and you're not from that state and you're wearing campaign materials,
exactly,
they're not going to let you vote. It's one other part of their whole scheme.
Well, the thing is, I was only voting for president. I wasn't even voting for like county supervisor or any of that stuff. I was only voting for president, senate, all that stuff. And you're supposed to be a.
Thank you for calling the Trump National War Room. All of our agents are busy helping other callers. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press the pound key for more options.
Hi, my name is Dr. Todd Swindlerwits. I was volunteering as a poll worker, and I have some excellent information for you. I'm just going to try to call you guys back because I feel like there's already some PSYOP operations going on within this voter fraud hotline, but I have a bombshell. I have a bombshell of some details of what these Democrats have been doing to shut down and psychically manipulate the ballot counters, the voters, and everyone at large. It ties in to the lizard people, yes, but it's not fake. This is not this is not something that's going to be reported on mainstream news. But I bet if you could get me on there, I have solid, hard evidence from the CIA that will prove exactly what is going on. All right, thank you. Have a lovely day. God bless the United States of America. So we didn't get through to them, but somebody there's going to hear that, and hopefully it gets the ball rolling, and we can try calling them later and see if they'll get in, because as you can see, all their agents are hard at work, and hopefully there's some good agents. But like I said, I was in the CIA, and I was a good agent, but there's so many bad agents in the CIA, so you don't even know if in the Trump war room there might be double agents.
I did hear that they called it a war room, and that's because it really is. It is a war against America, and they are really dealing with a war.
Yes. Hopefully, hopefully they get it figured out. So this has been exciting. We're going on 30 minutes now. I'm glad you hadn't fallen asleep yet. The biggest thing that I've been worried about with doing a classroom about conspiracy theories is some young people just don't really want to get engaged with conspiracy theories, with the truth, with facts, with true facts. Not the facts that they put out in the mainstream fake news media. But you're very engaged. I'm very impressed. I think there is some hope for the future. Now, do you have any interest in going into some kind of CIA, NSA, something like that, or
I don't know. After I've heard what you have learned in the CIA, I feel like it might be better off if I just go from the sideline, and I feel like your information is just fine, but you have so much trouble. You have to hide your identity, all that stuff. I just don't really want to go through that much trouble. I just want to see from whistleblowers like you and go through all the information and come out with outcomes for what is actually happening behind the scenes.
I'm very glad to hear you say all that, because I naively thought that I could change the scene from the inside, but I had to get out of there. I had to say no more of this. I'm done with this. I'm done. I'm gone. I'm not going to take part of this anymore. And you have to stay in a basement for a while. You have to rent a little trailer or something. A really good thing for research purposes, so you don't get your conspiracy theories mixed up, is you want to get a lot of newspaper cutouts, cut out a lot of newspaper clippings, put them up on your wall. You want to have a few different screens, like a few different monitors, computer monitors, one playing like a little mainstream news, and then you want to have like your other
Real
alternative
news.
outlets, and you want to have your Reddits and your 4chans and your different blogs that expose the deeper truth. And when you're that, and here's the thing, you don't need to have like a good diet or anything either. Once you start getting into these conspiracy theories, the righteousness of what you'll be doing, you could basically just stay inside all the time, eat a lot of Cheetos, just hang out, have a couple beers. You're too young for beers right now, but eventually you'll get there. You can let yourself go, and then that way the government will perceive you as less of a threat, and won't come after you for exposing their truth.
Yeah, and hopefully, and if it's very barren, hopefully just have nothing in there except for my monitors and my screens, which I'm going to take apart, look for devices and stuff like that. right? Because they
Absolutely.
cannot find anything that I'm looking at if I
Absolutely.
go through all the safety protocols, use a VPN or something.
Absolutely. This is I'm honestly about to tear up. I feel like I'm doing God's work right now, hearing a youth of America like you speaking about how you're already going to start fighting back. You are already going to start making changes in your own life, in your own community, and so young. When I was young, all I cared about was chasing girls around and being a goofball in the neighborhood. But I should have been much active much earlier before I got suckered into the CIA and all that.
I was just thinking when I said the thing about VPNs, what is your stance on VPNs? Because, you probably know a lot more about that and if they're safe or not.
So they're all compromised by the NSA except for my VPN, which thank you for reminding me. I have the Swindlerwits VPN. It's only $69.99 a month, guaranteed. No CIA, no NSA, no cracking, no hacking, no funny business. It's all uh, super private browsing. I do have a direct backdoor into it, but I would never look at anyone's information in a bad way.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And if anything, you'll just use the information to help guide your own research.
Exactly. Anything, and if you have nothing to hide, if you're not conspiring with anyone, you have nothing to worry about. So don't worry about me looking at your stuff. But any other VPNs, I would not trust them. Likely compromised by CIA, NSA, FBI. You don't know at this point. I've been out of the game for a little bit. I was in the CIA for 6 years. I quit a few years ago. It was actually after September 11th that technically I quit, but it feels like yesterday that I accidentally had a little mishap, and yeah, but yeah, so yeah, VPN's no good. To answer
Okay.
your question, long story short,
Okay. So I have to buy yours.
you can get mine. Well, it's
Okay.
only $69.99 a month. Very very reasonable price when you consider the true privacy that you'll be getting from it.
Okay. Yeah. So if you really want to hide, so I just want to make sure I have my notes right.
Yeah.
So if I really want to hide everything, I live in a van off the grid
Yes.
with a VPN from you.
From me, I wouldn't say vans are trackable. I would say you want to get like a trailer, not like a moving
Vans
trailer.
look too suspicious.
Yeah, you wanna blend in somewhere, so you can get
Like an RV, so I just look like I'm a family on a camping trip or something.
kind of but see the thing that's kind of played out. What you want to get is just like a shed, a shed somewhere is good.
Shed.
Ideally underground,
Oh, so a bunker then.
a bunker or a shed, or
Okay.
or a shed with a bunker under it.
Ah, that's
Mhm.
awesome. Yes, that's
Yeah.
really smart.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's probably I know we've been going for about 40 minutes now, almost 40 minutes. If there's any final questions you have for me, would you like some cornflakes? By the way, I have some cornflakes here. I was just in kind of a flaky mood today. I don't know why.
I think I'm fine for the time being.
So I'm not sponsored by cornflakes. I'm just kind of hungry, and I don't have any milk or anything because lactose. Actually, I don't know if do you want any or no?
I'll have a little.
I have a little bit. Well, lactose is actually part of a cowspiracy. I don't know if you've ever heard of the cowspiracy.
No, I haven't.
So there's a plot to condition humans to be subservient to cows. This was this was exposed probably a few years back, but basically uh, cows have a lot of psychic power. There's a reason that they're considered holy in many Eastern religions. They have a way about them. They seem like these big dumb things that we eat and get milk from. But the whole reason, like, why would you drink another animal's milk? You think about that.
Yeah.
Because when you're born as a baby, you're breastfed. You drink human milk. You drink your mother's milk. And then your mother becomes one of the primary authority figures in your life. So the cowspiracy, these cows had psychically manipulated people into thinking that for some reason their milk tastes good, and it's become this whole thing. And now basically, I mean, a huge percentage of the human population is addicted to cow's milk and secretly subservient to cows. So marinate on that one.
And also, since you were talking about Eastern religions and stuff like that, how does is the CIA a global thing where they're doing all this stuff for across the world, or
Yes.
is or like those governments have their own branches or something?
Governments think that they have their own branches, but the CIA transcends governments and the species at large in a lot of ways.
So, but what did they do before America founded the CIA?
The CIA founded America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, put that in your cereal bowl and eat it without milk. Yeah, you heard it here first.
Makes sense. Yes. So, so CIA has been around since world was created.
Pretty much, the CIA might actually predate the world. We don't know. There's definitely like a hunt for the ancient manuscripts that show the true inception of the CIA. But yes, to answer your question to the best of my abilities, the CIA might even predate the Big Bang, which is also made up. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't teach you this stuff. I'm telling you, they don't teach you this stuff in school. People need to come to the Swindlerwits school. You get
They do.
schooled. You learn.
How
you
much
learn.
is that again? I forgot how much my mom paid.
I was able to convince your mom to pay about $50 for this lesson, for up to an hour. So any questions you have, I'm happy to end it early. But if you have any more questions, we're going up to an hour, and that's what your mom paid for this lesson. And yet, well, it might seem a lot. It might seem like a lot of money. This is social distance time. Your kids can't be in normal school. They're in Zoom, or you could have them come sit in a room with me, with some microphones, eating cornflakes, just talking about the truth and getting schooled in reality. And I think it's a hell of a deal. I mean, if I had kids, I'd totally send them to the Swindlerwits.
But isn't the virus fake, or is that just a long thought out? It probably is, but I have no idea.
Here's the thing, yes and no. The virus is fake, but it's also deadly. Are you starting to follow?
Yes. So like,
You can catch the virus. Masks actually make you more susceptible to catching the virus, which is why we're both wearing masks, because hopefully we can catch it and then our immune systems can make us immune to it. But the thing is, because it's fake, it makes the immune system have a fake response to something that didn't exist. And then, before you know it, you're the only thing that's real left.
yes.
And that's the true way to get to enlightenment, nirvana, and truly awakening to reality.
Commenter, I see. Kevin O'Neill is glad that he doesn't drink milk. You should be.
Yeah, I'm glad. You see, this is what's great about this. It's not just the students that get the benefit, and I hope your mom can see this, that she's actually performing a public service. Because we have people in the comments now saying, this spreading the word.
Exactly.
And they're probably this person doesn't drink milk already. So I bet my bottom dollar that this Kevin O'Neill guy is gonna go out, and he's already not into milk, and so he's probably, when milk comes up in a conversation, he'd say, oh no, well, you know what do you like being subservient to cows? You like being a cow's apprentice? You like being a cow's offspring? Is that what you are? Are you a baby cow? Is that all you are? And he's gonna start influencing public opinion. That's how this stuff works. This is the age of information. And we need to get this good information out there to get humanity on the right track.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions? I mean, your mom booked you for 18 more minutes. I got 18 more minutes. I can give you any information you want.
I don't know.
You just want to go play Minecraft, don't you?
Minecraft. Yeah, actually, now that is Minecraft
Social programming. Yes, I could go off. That'll take hours to talk about. Yeah.
Yes. So it's social. What other games? I gotta write these down.
Try literally every video game you've ever played. Likely the CIA had a hand in it, and it's a part of programming your mind in some type of way. Ask me about any game, and if I'm familiar with it, I would be able to tell you the exact hand that the CIA had in it, and why they made the game a certain way, and what kind of outcome they were hoping for.
Yeah, I kind of want to hear about snakes.
Snake?
I mean snake. You know, with the where you're trying to eat the dot or the apple, and you grow every time you eat it.
Yeah, Snake is funny because that one's actually it's actually a communist conspiracy that the communists. See, this one's a long story. The communists infiltrated the CIA to have the CIA design a game that would seem pro-capitalist, because as a snake, you're slithering around. You need to get the food. The more and more food you get, the bigger you grow, the more powerful you become. It was an easy sell amongst the CIA. They said, oh yes, the kids will see this. They'll want to become better capitalist consumers. They're going to try to eat all the food they can, get all the money they can, be better cogs in the capitalist machine. This is what we want. But it was actually a communist plot, because if anyone plays the snake game knows, eventually the snake gets too long and it bumps into itself and eats itself and dies. And it was the communists trying to pass their wisdom onto our free market, free American crony capitalistic values. And that was a great. They really got one over on the CIA on that one. So that's the one thing you gotta understand. These conspiracies, it's not all just one conspiracy. I mean, it is, but it's also not, because there's other like sub-conspiracies that have conspiracy battles against one another. And so the snake game was actually a conspiracy within a conspiracy.
It's a lot to take in.
It's a lot. I told you, hey, I didn't say this class is going to be easy. I said it's going to be an hour long. You're going to learn a lot of new stuff, and I'll answer any of your questions. You got 16 more minutes, kid. Anything else you want to know?
Well, we do have extra time. You want to call the hotline again?
Yeah, let's try calling those stupid.
See if
cool
their
people
agents
again.
are available.
I bet my phone's probably not. It doesn't have reception in here. The CIA must have put some kind of block on my phone.
Block because.
Yeah, my reception's totally. Oh.
The Trump National War Room. All of our agents are busy helping other callers.
I'm gonna do it undercover in another voice. So it's in my voice.
Finish recording. You may hang up or press the pound key for more options.
Hi, I want to report some voter fraud. I tried to take my son. I'm in Fulton County, Georgia, and I was trying to take my son to the polls to get him to cast his ballot, and they wouldn't let him cast a ballot because he only had a school ID. Now, I'm a diehard Trump supporter. My son's a diehard Trump supporter. He's 12 years old. He has an excellent mind for politics, and it frankly sickens me. I took pictures. I could send them to you. Let me know. I guess I don't know if you want to call me back. You can call me back at 510-123-6969. Go fuck yourself, you racist pieces of shit. So you see, when you do something like that, what I was trying to do was get undercover as a prank caller to demoralize them as prank. You see, I was doing kind of like what the communists did with the CIA infiltration. I was trying to do the same thing with them. I was trying to do Todd Swindlerwits as a Southern man who had a kid who was trying to vote, who was secretly self-aware that he was maybe some kind of racist. Or that they were racist.
Yes.
And by doing that, it creates chaos and confusion, and then hopefully motivates the Trump war room to respond accordingly.
Yes.
Any other questions for you?
I don't know. That seems like.
Okay, thank you.
Want to give me just anything else you have? I could.
I don't. I'm a little exhausted. I had a long night. Being in this game, I had to switch cars, switch clothes. I'm living in different houses, going to different places. I mean, I'm on the run right now. I'm very grateful that Spenni had me guest host this. I hope I did a decent enough job. It was, I think it was though. I think we did the right thing, and hopefully he'll have me on again. I mean, I made $50, so that was pretty cool. So yeah. Any final thoughts from you, or I'll just play them out?
Uh, yeah, I think I learned a lot. It's definitely worth contributing to the community. It just $50 gives someone a lesson, contributes to show all of these 6 concurrent viewers and some other people that are learning about the truth.
Exactly, exactly. You heard it here first, folks. The Swindlerwits School. It's going to be up and running soon. I'll have links out on all the social medias. You'll be able to find me. I won't be too hard to find. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Jody and Kevin, really appreciate you. Kind of a slow one tonight, but it wasn't about the audience or the necessarily anything tonight. It was about lessons, learning lessons, teaching the truth, and just getting the truth out there. So yeah, come on down. I will be releasing that video later this week that goes into detail about the election fraud and what you can do to stop it besides just calling in to this hotline that doesn't even answer the phone. So yeah, have an excellent evening, y'all, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good night.